think an infinite universe is possible, because it can't. If you believe in an infinite universe, you have to think that it just exists. It has to just exist, you know, it can't. It has, and, you know, also the universe having a beginning, the God, you know, all that stuff doesn't make any sense. No possible explanation for the universe makes sense. No possible explanation for the universe makes sense. No possible explanation for the universe makes sense.
Hey, SaimDI. Let me try and respond. I'd like to avoid a big cosmological argument. While you criticize an idea of an infinite universe, you pretty much agree that none of these explanations make sense, scientific or otherwise. Rather than weigh into those heady waters, I would just like to point out that Buddhism is a religion that it's not really caught up in a cosmological belief system. There's no need to believe that the universe was created or has always been. These things kind of fall outside the realm of Buddhism, and so even the criticism seems rather misplaced.
Then there's reincarnation. You know, reincarnation doesn't make much sense because you can't. There's no way to explain how it started.
Buddhists don't believe in reincarnation. We hold to a concept of rebirth, which is radically different. Reincarnation, you see, presupposes the existence of an eternal soul that transfers from life to life. In Buddhism, there is no metaphysical concept of self or soul that transfers from life to life to life.
Karma is probably if you do something, then something happens to you, and that same thing happens to you. You know, karma is just common sense. No, 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 karma is just common sense. And nirvana doesn't make much sense because we know that bliss is inside the body. Happiness is inside the body. Happiness is chemicals within your body. It's enlightened beings don't make much sense because it's rather vague. It's a rather vague concept. I forgot to mention this. P.S. Yes, I do agree that Nichiren and Lamaism or Tibetan Buddhism are, you know, kind of the more ridiculous, weirdo, fundamentalist, you know, sects of Buddhism.
We've certainly made some progress. We started out with Buddhism is stupid and evil. We've whittled it down to there's something fishy about these metaphysical claims, which, hey, that's fair. Rebirth, you're a little off on. Let's see, what do we have now? Karma, nirvana, and enlightened beings. Real quickly, I'm not going to get... I talked about karma in the last video, and ultimately, it is something that Buddhists take on faith. Nirvana, not even going to get into that. I would say, really, it's not. Nirvana is not like the focal point of most people's practice. I wouldn't, you know, and we could get into the talk about it. But the Buddhists said actually very little about Nirvana, and enlightened beings is another thing that most Buddhists aren't really caught up in, like looking for the next awakened one. Really, because the journey in the path and the process is an inward one. It's an internal thing. It's something that we do on our own, and the work has to be done by ourselves. So, like, even if I found, you know, some really super duper enlightened guy, you know, I still have my work to do. You know, it's like finding somebody who's gone somewhere you want to go. You know, maybe he can give you some tips along, you know, as you trudge the path, but ultimately you have to do the work. And, you know, if you don't find any of these things believable, more power to you. As far as economics goes, I would say we probably agree on quite a bit. And I guess we'll leave the religion here. I thank you for your input, and it's been a pleasure. Have a great night.